5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey everyone, welcome again to another episode of Disability Landscape. Hey, we're coming on location today from Mark. Give us the news.
The garage of the one and only Moon from Afternoon. So I think I'm saying, like, welcome back, Moon.
I'm glad to be on the show again.
Yeah, I think it's been just about a year. Have you been, I think rumor has you been a little busy doing something like a pod, I don't know, you bean pods or no, what have you been up to, bud?
Well, I've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Podcast name of my podcast, which goes up every Friday, is Moon
Yep.
P Jug, PJUGG, and Hobbs. It's like a law firm, Schwabel, Getz, and Sieben, only with a bunch of dorky radio people. My wife was on the show playing the part of P Jug, but she wanted compensation. We have no sponsors. There's no money involved. She quit, and so now we're taking auditions. If you want to be the second member of the team, send your audio specimen, if you will, not your urine specimen, to moonpjughobbs@gmail.com. We've had on a lot of guests, including these guys,
Yep.
including magicians, neurologists. There was a guy that has a new app that reminds you you're gonna die, and that app then makes you treasure life. Because, you know, if you are reminded by an app that, hey, you need to be happy, you know, not every day, you know, is you're gonna live that long, so use the most of your time.
Can I ask you a question then? Did you use that app and check to see what me and Charlie might be going, and you figured, I better hurry up and get a show in now?
I better get them on now.
Yeah, to get on our disability landscape.
Well, see, for me, I know this is true. I have MS, multiple sclerosis, and that averages about a 7-year subtraction on your lifespan.
Okay.
About
Oh, 7 years
7
subtract.
years for a male.
Oh, really? Okay.
So if the average male lives to be 76, which is the number,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go at 69. So we better go drinking.
Yeah, there you
That's all
go.
I'm saying.
We're all in for that.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to?
Well, we've been keeping busy interviewing people.
Yeah.
You know, I made Mark lonely for a month when I spent about a month in the hospital with some lovely back infection. So, but I'm back and upright and taking nourishment. So.
Good.
Yeah, so it's been going pretty well. We've had some interesting guests just in the past month. We had a couple ladies that put on a event, a virtual event called Disabilities. They do burlesque
Oh, really?
and that, so that is up on our channel. It is community access friendly. We had to make sure we got that cleared. I mean, we didn't want to get kicked off of community access, but if we did, I'd rather get kicked off of that than language. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna go big, right, Moon?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
good.
So,
Yeah, we don't want the pitchforks and torches in front of the community access studio where we film because they might not let us back in.
That's right.
you know, it was about a year ago too. Each month when we tape at CCX Media up in Brooklyn Park, got to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Yep. But every month that we do tape, one of our guests is always a performer of some type. So we've had a lady with a brain injury come in, do a story type thing. A lot of them have been musical performers, so
Sure.
you know, visually impaired, paraplegics, and that. So if anyone out there knows anyone who has some type of performance ability, you know, please reach out to our channel via our Facebook or even our email, disabilitychannelmn@gmail.com. So we've been coming across some real interesting talent out there.
Including somebody you might know. Joseph Baird.
Joseph Baer, that's right.
Right, yeah, we had Joseph on, and, his was a real, interesting story, and that, all the things that he had.
I know one night I went to Wisconsin to a bar. Imagine a bar in Wisconsin on a Saturday night. The
So
place
hard
was-
to find.
Yeah, place was packed. And when we got there, they said there's live entertainment.
Okay.
We went in, there was a guy in a wheelchair, and he was a quadriplegic. And he was playing his guitar. The guitar was lying down like a slide or a steel guitar, but he was playing, and he could barely move. And I'm thinking, how does this guy do this, right? And he's a good singer, and I remember one of the songs he did was Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young.
Oh,
And that's always been one of my favorite songs. And so I walked up to the guy afterwards and I introduced myself. And it turns out he was injured in a motorcycle
Motorcycle
accident.
accident.
Do you know this guy?
Steve
Check
Moreau.
out our disability channel, we've had him.
No.
Yeah,
kidding.
Steve
Ma-
Moreau. He's-
Matter of fact, upcoming on the channel, he visited us to show us his artistic techniques.
Yeah, he's got very
He's a painter as well.
painter as
Wow.
well, yeah, so you have to, go to our YouTube channel, Disability Channel Minnesota.
I
Right.
want to have him on my podcast.
Yeah, we'll
We can
arrange
find
it.
him.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
we can arrange it, we'll just kinda make a deal with you or something,
Well, we'll put it this way, it's not easy finding guests every week.
Yeah,
No, yeah, every week, that
It's
has gotta
really
be,
hard.
yeah.
that's gotta, but Ray, he's got a guitar, he's got a stand that he custom built, that he lays his guitar on, and then, plays it,
Well, I thought he was excellent.
and he's got a really, really good voice, I agree. Like you said, there's only one there's two problems with Wisconsin, and he's a Packer fan, okay?
Oh, my God.
I know, we can only do so much in editing, okay?
One of the things that I remember very well about this bar was it was called the Board House, or I don't remember, but that's close to the name. And what they did was they had a board that was probably 10 feet long, and about every 1 foot there was a shot holder.
Oh, really?
Oh, my.
So what they did was they would take these shots and they'd set it up and they would call it having a board meeting,
Oh, okay.
right? And then they would get all of these people lined up and they would tilt that thing and everybody would do a shot. There was like 12 of them.
Oh,
my.
It was
my.
unbelievable. And I'm thinking, okay, that's creative.
Yeah.
There's been many ways that I found to drink that were creative, nothing that big, right? And now, from somebody that's been in recovery for a long, long, long time.
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's good.
I don't worry about board meetings anymore.
Oh, yeah,
But,
yeah.
I guess it just goes to show you that people with disabilities have value. And a lot
Right.
of times we're not appreciated, and I know it's kind of strange, like with the three of us, you guys have no legs,
Right.
I've got my chair, whatever.
Yep.
When you go anywhere, people look at you kind of
Yeah.
funny, kids point, they wonder what's wrong with that guy.
Right, right.
And all of that. But people with disabilities just can't get around as easily.
No, yeah,
That
accessibility.
doesn't mean that you're unable to give or to create or any of
Exactly.
that stuff. And for me, when I had to retire from my job because of my disability,
Yep.
because it 100% was only because of my disability,
Yep,
I thought, well, what am I gonna do now,
Sure.
right? Because I'm used to working a lot.
Right.
yeah, oh, yeah.
I was a very busy guy.
And you still have a lot to give.
Because even like when you were doing the radio, the afternoon, what time did, you just don't show up.
No,
'Cause, you're on the air for what?
5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours,
I was on it for 5.
so you just don't show up 5 minutes beforehand, do your thing,
No.
and then leave again. How much prep and after and other work that you put into it?
Well, for me, one of the things that drove me absolutely crazy as if I wasn't number one. There's almost 50 stations in town.
Sure.
So to
Is
me-
there really?
Yep, that's AM and FM combined. And now with all the HD channels and the online channels and all that, it's way more than that.
Radio channels, yep.
Yeah, radio channels have their own HD signals.
Yep.
And for me, we got bonused for audience deliverance. So if,
Oh, right, right.
if an advertiser wants to target a 32-year-old female, you know, the advertising agencies say they have $1 million, and McDonald's wants to sell Happy Meals.
Oh,
Okay, so then they're gonna say, who are we best gonna reach our market with, what radio station for advertising? So what they would do is, the station that was first place might get 500,000, and number 2 and 3 might get 250,000 apiece. Okay, and that's only with one advertiser, and I'm just throwing numbers out.
right,
Sure.
just,
Okay.
yep.
But that's kind of the way advertising and radio and television, the way that they pay for everything. And so, for me, it wasn't about the bonuses for being number one. It was that being number one was
Your
all I
drive.
wanted.
Yeah,
And Stacy and I, when I first came to town, I made a goal, and that was to take the show to number one in females, adults, everything. I wanted to beat Joe Souchere, I wanted to beat, you know, everybody.
right.
And we ended up reaching my goal of 95 number one rating periods in the 17 years I was here,
Wow.
okay? That's a lot of number ones.
Yeah.
And the way that I found you get to number one is to outwork everybody else.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of lazy on-air people that don't do their homework, they don't do their prep work, they don't book the right guests. There's a lot of moving parts to a show.
did you book your guests, so like the other DJs, like you were saying, did they just rely on other producers to
A lot
book?
of people did.
Yeah,
You know, for me, I booked almost all of our guests.
that's the extra stuff
Yeah.
that you put into it.
Well, if you have a personal relationship with a guest,
That's why I was just gonna ask, because you probably had contacts, so it's that,
when you have those personal contacts, they'll come back on your show. And you know, these bands, comedians, whoever it is, when they're promoting stuff, they come back into town every once in a while.
Sure.
oh, right,
And a
yeah,
lot
so
of
you
them
got,
are great guests, and a lot of them stink.
right,
Right.
yeah,
I have found that the most interesting guests are people that are not celebrities in any way.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a human being having a conversation about who they are.
Right.
One of the best bits I saw on a network, I believe it was on CBS, what they did was on Sunday morning, they would take a dart and they would throw it at a map of the United
oh, right,
States.
right, yeah, on the road or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Was that Charles Corral?
Charles
Yeah.
Perrault started it, yeah,
Anyway, what they do is then they would go to that town
right,
and they'd get out a phone book and they just stick their finger in it.
yeah,
And
I
wherever
remember
they-
that, yeah,
They pointed out a name and then they went to that guy's house and then they had a conversation. Well, who are you? Why do you live here? How many kids do you have? And it was more of a storytelling event.
right, yeah,
And, you know, there were so many callers we had that were way better than any of our celebrity guests.
Yeah.
Now, we did have some really good celebrity guests. Michelle Obama was amazing.
oh, you did, okay,
I talked to her. I've interviewed Oprah Winfrey. I remember when I was down in Texas, this was kind of fun. Laura Bush called the show,
Oh, okay.
right? Because obviously in Houston, the Bush family only lived maybe 5 minutes from the radio station.
oh,
Okay.
did they, okay,
Right. And she called in to promote a literacy event because that was her deal.
oh, right,
And I knew she was going to call. And when the hotline rang, I picked it up and I said, "Hi, Mix 96.5." She said, "This is Laura Bush." And I said, "You're caller number 9." Right?
right, yeah,
And then later, I went to an appearance for her at a literacy event, and I was signing autographs. and I was misspelling the word literacy,
Oh,
which I thought was pretty damn funny.
yeah,
Right,
that
right,
is
right,
pretty,
Yeah, that was pretty good.
the irony of it all.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, what I did was, I got up in the morning around 10. I know that sounds late,
Yeah,
but all I did from 10 o'clock until I left the house at 12:30 or 1 was listen to the news, scan the web,
yeah,
anything
catch up
big's
on
going.
everything, yeah.
And see, here's the thing that's so hard. I could work on a bit for a show that I thought was hilarious or meaningful
Right.
or something.
Yeah,
It was what I thought was good enough to air, right?
yeah,
Right,
And then I might work on that one piece for 30 minutes to an hour, and then the next day there was a school shooting.
oh,
Or the
right.
next day
Oh,
there
right,
was
some
something
break.
else.
yep,
So
Some breaking
everything
news,
I
yeah.
wrote was
it's
out
out the
door,
window, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But I would go to work, we'd go on the air at 2, be on the air till 7. I would come home and eat, hang out with my kids until bedtime, and then I went back to work. And I would go to work on prep from 9 o'clock until about 1 or 2 a.m.
Oh, wow.
It just depended
wow,
on
yeah,
what was going on and how the wheels were turning. So a lot of hard work. I always felt that if you don't have the natural talent on a radio to beat somebody, just outwork them.
right, yeah.
Get out and shake hands, go to public events,
Yeah,
do what you can, and it's important. And, we ended up, Stacy and I having just enormous luck, and she's just an amazing partner,
Yeah,
and she hates confrontation,
ah,
so we didn't argue. We had 2
Oh.
spats in 17 years.
oh, really?
And when we won an award, Marconi
Oh,
Award.
the Marconi,
okay.
yeah.
It's for the show of the year,
Oh,
and that's
I
national.
was gonna say, that's national, yeah, yeah.
It's national, but we were competing against morning shows, afternoon shows, all of them,
All
talk
of them.
shows, sports shows, all the shows.
Okay,
And when I had the opportunity to speak, I just said, I've been with Stacy longer than I've been with any of my wives, which was true.
true, yeah.
And I do believe that a greater part of my success was because of my partner's faith and trust in me, and the fact that she's funny and smart, and that was stuff I didn't offer.
now, did you and Stacy, was Stacy already at the station, or did you both start fresh together then?
They contacted me. It's kind of a crazy way I got my job. I was at a Hertz rent-a-car place in Los Angeles. I have a son in LA, and I went out to see him. And while I was in line at the rent-a-car place, I saw a guy that I thought I used to drink beer with, right? And his name was Leighton Peck. He and I were both on the radio together at a tiny station in Nebraska,
Okay,
Okay,
right? Years before. And I didn't want to walk up to the guy and introduce myself, because what happens if it's not really him?
yeah.
right,
It's
right,
been a lot of years and we both changed.
yeah,
So I went back to Texas, I Googled him, and I saw that he was at KS95 Minneapolis. I sent him an email. I said, were you at the Hertz rent-a-car counter at LAX this past weekend? And he goes, you've put on some weight. And I said, you've lost all your hair. Right?
yeah,
And we started talking. I had 2 other offers, one in Memphis and one in San Antonio.
oh,
They flew me in to interview up here, and it was fall, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, at that time in Minnesota, that's the best time to sell anybody,
yeah,
Right.
to come to Minnesota. So I came in, interviewed. I told them that I didn't own any pants, which I didn't. I had shorts.
for everything.
When you
yeah.
live in Houston, Texas,
oh, right, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
okay,
not wearing pants. You're trying to wear less, not more.
yeah, that's right,
It's
yeah,
hot. And so I went from one of the most humid, miserable heat experiences that a human can endure to showing up here and freezing. And
so in your contract, did you write like a winter budget thing just to get your, boots and long pants and snowsuit, all the stuff you were gonna need?
No, but darn, I wish I would've thought of that.
Yeah,
I asked for a lot of other stuff.
yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. And, I've raised my kids here.
Okay,
I've lived in Lakeville the entire time. I really like it. I think that the city has changed a lot, and some of it not for the better.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know that, who lives up in Brooklyn Center?
I do, yeah.
Okay. And we have talked many times about what went on with the shooting there.
Yes.
yeah,
And I mean, without getting too dark and all that stuff, I wish people could just get along.
Yeah,
And maybe if you're watching this show right now, do what you can to be kind to another person. And, vote for people who think the way you think.
yeah,
Because a lot of people will whine about politics, but they won't go and vote.
Yeah.
Or, they may only see things with one party.
Yeah.
And they don't open their eyes to other people may have good ideas. I think both parties keep yelling at each other. We're not getting anything done.
well, in Jordan, cause I live in Jordan, the thing that's on everyone's mind in Jordan is the candy store, so.
Is that the world's largest?
The
candy?
world, yeah, thank you, the world's largest candy store, the big old yellow barn on 169.
You know what I really want for candy?
Oh, now you tell me, you should've told me before, I could've brought you some.
I don't know that they have it.
Oh,
oh,
they do, probably, what
It's
is it?
called the Wonka Donut.
Wonka,
Okay? They
okay.
stopped making the Willy Wonka donut, which
Oh.
was a piece of like a milk chocolate with sprinkles. And Stacy and I were addicted to these things. You could get them at the gas station next door, and now they stopped making them. And I am on a email list that if they ever make them again, or if they're ever available, that I get a notification so that I can get me a Wonka donut. That's pretty sad that I'm spending my time that way.
Yeah, and he's sending the food delivery guys right to it to pick it up for him.
Well, I've never been to the world's largest candy store, but I know that I want to go.
It's,
It's an experience.
it's just constantly busy,
Do you remember Bing cherries?
no.
Yes,
Okay, they come in the little red packages.
yep,
I found them on Amazon. Those are old school,
yep.
Okay,
right? I shouldn't probably be eating as much candy as I do. But,
you're not the only one.
I know, and ice cream at this time of the year.
Okay, come
Oh,
on
yeah.
now, please,
Let's not even
it's almost
go there.
summertime, come there, let's not go there.
Well, I always like going on your show. I think that you guys are bringing information
Yeah,
to
it's,
people with disabilities that they may not have elsewhere.
Yeah,
Hats
appreciate
off.
yeah, thanks.
Anytime you guys want me on, I'm super bored.
Yeah, no,
And
we'll find you.
I will plug my podcast one more time.
oh, please do.
Always.
Moon, P. Jug and Hobbs, PJUGG, at moonpjugandhobbs.com. And, thanks to Tom Bernard, who,
Yeah, that's how you got the start, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Tom and I are friends. And, the thing is funny is, I'm on Tom's podcast network, but I can't get Tom as a guest. Isn't that the dumbest thing?
Oh, yeah.
He is such a diva.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I
I
love
keep telling him, it's like, dude,
Yeah.
call me back.
Right.
Yeah,
He's kind of, he's his own dude.
Yeah, he,
And that's one of the things I love about him. The reason he's been so successful is because, do you know how Prince was?
oh, right,
Eclectic. kind
Yeah.
of-
kept it to himself,
Yeah.
except for when it came showtime. And that's-
Bingo.
Isn't that kinda like
And that's how Tom.
Tom is?
Yeah.
A lot of people think Tom's grouchy and grumpy, and sometimes he is on the air or whatever,
Right,
but he's the nicest guy. He was raised in kind of a bad situation up in North
oh,
Minneapolis.
right, yeah,
yeah,
And I'll tell you what, he's seen a lot of things that a lot of us haven't seen.
right,
And
yeah,
I'm really proud of his success, and I'm glad he asked me to be on his network.
Well,
Yeah.
Moon, it's been a pleasure having you back today. Thank you for letting us come to your lovely abode here in
I know.
Lakeville. We gotta wrap up the show now. Mark, do you have anything before we go?
No, it's been fun visiting with you. We definitely, we'll have to get you and do some short trivia on our channel, do some quick
Oh, yeah.
trivia stuff with you, cause I know you're a trivia nut and I'm terrible at it, so that's why I love doing it.
Oh, yeah, we used to do that, didn't we? Okay,
Right.
good. Game on.
Game on, sounds good.
So, all right, I'm Charlie Bros, Mark Knudsen, the infamous Moon, and we'll see you next time on Just Billy Landscape.